everyone. I hope you're okay. I hope you're fine. Remember, this was started off after realizing the need to be able to contact as many students as possible. So today we want to see how this can also be able to help the students who have joined this platform. So this is, as you've said, it's a senior one. I hope you all knew, even those who had missed in orientation in the first time they joined, they are welcome to learn a lot from this one. So my name is Teacher Lurry, Onyul, Isidoro. I'm a teacher of English language and literature. I teach at St. Henry's College, Togo, this side of Masaka. So I'm glad to be here sharing my experiences with you. We have at least vast experience when it comes to online classes. We have worked with Edify and other organizations to deliver to students during this pandemic. It's unfortunate that things are happening the way they are, but at least it has helped us to also learn how to be able to help or reach out to as many students as possible. So I want to thank God for that. Without further ado, can I request one of you at least to lead us through a prayer? At least one student. Okay. Joel, you may unmute. Can I request the rest to mute their microphones? It is more meaningful if you did it yourselves. I could do it, but I want to see if you can do it on your own. Redmi, Stefan, could you do that? Okay, I think I had to mute. Let me now unmute. Waninda, you may unmute.
Let us pray in the name of the Father, and of the Holy Spirit. Almighty Father, we thank you for this lesson that you have given us. Pray that you give the teachers knowledge and understanding to teach us whatever they're going to teach us, and also with the learners, give us the warm hearts to receive whatever the teachers are going to teach us. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Thank you so much, Joel, for that prayer. It is necessary that we all start. So I have issues with people whose microphones are constantly on. Perhaps. Okay, so I had someone asking questions around the expectations of the new curriculum, and that means definitely I will be hinting on the old curriculum. But before I do that, I want to be able to not necessarily define English, but to give you my meaning of English, for example. Maybe let me start with simple questions. A very simple question. What is our main language of communication in Uganda? What is the recognized language of communication? Being a multilingual country, what is that binding language? We all know that our binding, yes, Peter Odoch?
English.
Yes. So English is the binding language. So you'll find that unlike others that are subjects, English stands out as a language. That means in and out of class, it is very important. You and me know that English is very important. So today, we will be inclined to learn English as a language, not necessarily as a subject. So we want to find out how important it is. So first of all, it's a medium of communication. We cannot be able to communicate to people from other tribes, especially if we do not know them. So today I want us to know that English is a must learn, and it's among the 7 compulsory subjects. So you'll find that even at senior 4, you have to sit for this paper. And even when you're using all the other subjects, you still have to depend on English. It's even worse for science subjects. They use more English than even the art subject. So you'll find that if you do not understand the language, then eventually it might not be easy for you to be part of the study environment. So English today, we shall not learn it as a subject, but we shall take it as a compulsory language that we must learn, because in Uganda, it is our main communication channel. So we have to learn English. Literature, on the other hand, is an art that we cannot dodge because of its relevance. It helps us in a number of ways, especially interpretation. Literature is a mirror of society that helps us to see the dirt, the good, the bad, and all those other things. And apart from that, it teaches us what we should do. So we will find that English and literature go hand in hand. We cannot dodge any. So we find that, of course, literature is not compulsory, but it's part of what you start with as your optionals. You can choose it, and then you can also pursue it as an elective later on, depending on your interests. So I've already introduced myself, that I'm teacher Lurry, Onyul, Isidoro, a teacher at St. Henry's College, so passionate about education, and particularly English language and literature. Okay, I believe that we all must study English language and literature. The belief I have. And today, this senior1.org has given us the opportunity to exactly pursue this belief of mine. Yes, it is being streamed live, so don't worry. So it's a must study. If you miss it, then you're going to miss out a lot, as we shall see in this new curriculum. They have made it even
Yes, teacher Lurry, are you with us? Yes, Drusilla.
Yes, please. I think we have lost him.
Yeah, we have lost him, but I know he's coming back. Teacher Lurry, are you back?
yeah, just a little network disturbance. Okay. So some of these small quotes are motivation quotes for you to know that we all deserve the chance to learn. So if you have got this chance to learn, please let's not take it for granted. Let us put in all our best effort to make sure that we learn. And for those who are not yet part of this platform, make sure you give others chance, inform them about senior1.org so that they are part of this, for them to learn and discover for themselves. In this country of uncertainties, right now you'll find that the best thing you can do for a friend is to teach them something that they can use for a lifetime. So make sure that you help others to discover about this organization. So someone's hand is already up. Baride, you want to say something? Yes, Baride?
No,
Yes.
I don't want anything. You continue.
Okay, I'm sure by the end of this lesson, we shall find another way she could have communicated that message, but let us leave that aside. So we have what we call values of education. This new curriculum has come to make this even much better. for us to achieve these values of education. So I want us to know that this lesson is an orientation lesson for me to teach you the values of education as per my subject area, but I also want you to know the importances of education in general. So education is supposed to give you all this and many others, but these are the ones I picked that after going through this senior1.org and all your career in education, you must be able to reflect after your papers that do you have these qualities? Do you have these values when it comes to integrity, when it comes to commitment, when it comes to national identity? Are you a loving citizen of Uganda? Do you love your country? Issues to do with responsibility, respect for others, perseverance. Are you a law-abiding citizen? Care for others? And do you empathize with others? Do you feel for others? So these are the values as we teach that we are supposed to impart in you. And I'm very sure by the time you left primary, you had picked some. So senior1.org helps. So that is what we have at senior1.org, but generally as for education, these are the values that we carry most dearly. If you have not understood any, you can use your dictionary after and look out for the meaning of perseverance, respect, responsibility, national commitment. You find yourself somewhere at least learning one or two of those. Why study English language and literature? Why study English language and literature? You might be asking yourselves, why am I here? That's what we are going to look at today, why we should study it. Then secondly, we look at the syllabus coverage. What do we cover from the day you enter senior one till the day you leave? Then I want to listen to your expectations, but I will also give you my expectations. And then later on, I will look at the assessment procedure. These are the things we expect in this lesson today as I deliberate with you. Okay, so when I look at this, first of all, English language and literature helps learners to develop the most crucial skills needed to survive in the current competitive world. The world we are in today, young people, is very competitive. We are told in 2030, we're expected to have a population of about 55 million Ugandans. If you look at that population and then you look at the resources, the environment we're living in is not expanding, but the population is expanding. That means we as people have got to be creative to be able to remain in this community called Uganda. So what do we need? We need an education that can give us skills that can enable us to cope up with the worst of moments in Uganda. Because an increased population means a strain. It means the resources, the little that is there is being eaten by everyone. Just imagine at home when you're only two siblings and you're eating a loaf of bread for maybe 2 days, and then you become 5, and now you're eating a loaf of bread in an hour's time. The one who is not even around might miss. That's what I'm trying to mean. That is how competitive the world and Uganda are in general are becoming. So us as learners, what do we need? That's where the senior1.org comes in with different subjects like English language and literature that can enable you to survive in this country. One of those
Hello. Yes, we've lost Larry again. Rosilla.
Yes, please.
We've lost Larry. I think we can still We can engage our learners for now.
Elaine, okay.
I wanted to get to pass some communication that our website is www.senior1.org. And then I think let me share something here. Let me share my whiteboard here. Site is www.senior1.org.
Hello, teacher.
Yes, please. Yes, Larry.
I have issues with network for the past 2 days, but we shall keep on.
Okay, let me just finish this first. So that is our official website, and then our phone number for those who didn't know these ones, and perhaps our email. Our email is info@senior1.org. So, Teacher Larry,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about those interruptions. Once my network has not been the best for the past 2 days, we had a disconnection. But getting back to this, as I was saying, that you need these skills, and these key skills can be obtained through a proper education that this senior1.org is giving us and the general education at large. So what are the other key skills you need to survive in this competitive world? The analysis skills, evaluation skills, application skills, and then the organization skills. Those days in the old curriculum, there were only certain skills we would teach you. Application was usually for the upper section or senior 3 and 4, but now application starts as early as senior 1. Application there, I mean, you asked questions that are a little more practical as compared to senior 1. That's why senior 1s did less practicals those days. And yet these days practicals begin as early as senior 1. I'm talking about across subjects. So today, I want to let you know that once you're into this organization, you expect to move out with all these skills from comprehension, interpretation, analysis, evaluation, application, and then organization. When you have these skills, then you are a complete learner. You are a complete citizen, you are a complete person. Because we want a person that can suit the world out there. So that you don't only work in Uganda, you should be able to go and work in NTV of Kenya just as much as you can work in the NTV of Uganda. So all those skills are necessary and we cannot avoid them. What are some of the kinds of jobs you can get after studying English language and literature? I have just hinted on a few. My favorite, the first one, teacher. You can become a teacher of English language and literature. I know some of you are like, I don't want to be a teacher. Teachers have suffered a lot. But imagine a world without teachers. It would be a dark world. It would be a world I don't want to be in. Perhaps that's why I chose to be a teacher. Those that love to argue more can become lawyers. You can become an editor. You can become a journalist. You can become a writer. You can become a policeman. You can become at least as much as you want, but within that line of a sample. So I've just given you a sample. You could become so much more if you pursued this course. Of course, there are other things under career path that we shall guide you to understand in that line. So that is what I can hint on about what you would become if you chose to pursue it at higher levels or with time. You can become a writer as early as senior 1 by proper guide of a teacher who is always with you. Some people are naturally born writers. All they need is a little touch here and there for them to become better. So that is the advantage of joining this.org. We shall stand by you to make it a point that you become what you choose to be in the future or within our life that we're living. So the syllabus, of syllabus coverage, I straight away want to dive into our syllabus coverage. The syllabus coverage is divided into chapters or topics, and the different chapters handle different aspects, ranging from parts of speech, tenses, of grammar. You've made some of these things in your primary. Now, the advantage we have here is that instead of teaching you directly that this is a verb, we apply those verbs, for example, through a story. Excuse me. I can have a story, a passage with a lot of action, and then I ask you to pick out the action words. By so doing, I have straight away taken you to study verbs. The old curriculum, including Ogundipe, they would simply give you notes of what a verb is, and all of you, I'm sure, have crammed. A verb is a doing word, but you never get to see what it does in a story. So this time, the new curriculum is so practical that I engage you learners in different groups, and then I give you different stories. Then I tell you to give me the words that show action, words that describe. By so doing, I'm already trying to handle some of the parts of speech. Or I could perhaps have chances that present, or maybe have present, we have past, and the future. I have stories in those lines. So you find that the learning here has become interesting. So in those different chapters, you'll find that learning is very much practical, because the things that you are looking at are real life stories or experiences which a learner can relate with. For example, some of you are in the villages and those who are in town. If I say, go and buy bread, then I ask you, which is the noun? Then in the village, I will tell someone, go and harvest potatoes. Which is the noun there? So some of those stories, you can find that they are able to teach us now the practical aspect. Most of us left primary or secondary without really mastering what a verb is, because of the way of teaching. That the delivering there, that is what they're expected to do, by the way. I'm not blaming them. But all I'm saying is that while they were teaching, it was based on notes. But here now we make our own notes. I only maybe give you notes where we make them together as a class, but I never deliberately come with a book and say, write this note. But we shall make notes as a class, and then we own those notes. So me, all I do is to come and read through those notes. So the learning is that practical. So what are the chapters we have? In chapter 1, we will be expected to look at personal life and family. Here, I want you as a learner to tell me about yourself. What did I do here? The first thing I did, I came and introduced myself. I'm teacher Lurry, a teacher at St. Henry's College, Tovu, literature, English, passionate about this and that. That is my personal life. Then we go ahead and also want to learn about your family. Why do we want to learn about you? It is believed that unless I know my audience, I might never be able to communicate well to them. Right now, why I'm communicating is because I know my audience. My audience, or my students here, are senior 1 students who are eager and willing to learn. So by so doing, I see the interest of them, and then I focus on feeding that interest. So that's what we are saying in this personal life and family. It is more about you. Of course, in that we embed other aspects. The aspects of literature also come in. We shall look at oral literature in different backgrounds. I don't know, does anyone here know about oral literature? Any student here who knows what oral literature is? If you've heard, or at least any student here who wants to tell us their name and where they come from, something little, I can try to use it in a practical way. Yes, Techno, someone calling themselves Techno. You may unmute. Someone at least can share with us more about themselves, at least something little. In a minute, I want someone to share with us about themselves. I tell.
Oral literature is a type of literature told by word of mouth.
By word of mouth. It is passed from generation to generation by word of mouth.
Mouth.
Do you mind telling us at least something about yourself, your personal life? Who are you? Where did you go for primary? Something small.
My name is Catherine. I started
Yes.
from African Child Kampala,
Yes.
and I'm a student at Central College Kamuli.
Okay. So by the time I get to know, first of all, that the person I'm teaching is a girl, she has interests. So perhaps I'll ask you, what do you like doing most in your free time?
I like reading books.
You like reading books.
Novels. Yes.
Okay. Now, when I get to know that that's what you like, next time if I want you to learn, to self-discover, I will make sure I go through a certain novel. Perhaps if I want to teach her the responsibility of being a girl child, I will bring a novel that, for example, Little Sisters. Then I will make sure when she reads that novel, she picks out those aspects that I need her to learn. So when I am asking her questions, I will ask her questions in line with what she has read. By so doing, she has discovered. That is the importance of learning this chapter. It is a very nice chapter for us to learn. Are we together? It is very important for us to learn this chapter. And then the second chapter here, just a minute. The second chapter here is finding information. Finding information. Why do we teach you, or what is under finding information? We teach you, first of all, that it is not a must for a teacher to bring to you the information. That you as a student, you have two ways to find information. And even before maybe I teach you this, I am very sure you know how to find information by now. But now me, what I will do is to give you a deeper guide on how to find information, either through the internet or through the library. By so doing, the teachers will take you to visit the library, the teachers will take you to the computer center, and they will teach you the proper channels on how to search, to Google, to go to the library and go to a particular section of the books that you want. So that is the importance under that chapter. By so doing, you as a student, you will find that even you discover more information on your own than when I have taken you. Because when I take you as a student, or when I bring information to you, I will bring what I think you want to learn. But you, when you go and look for information yourself, you will find that you are getting much more information that can help to widen your scope of understanding in the area of the subject that you're concerned with. So that is the beauty about this chapter, and so many other things. But the adventure of visiting the library, if your school is rich enough to have those things, it will be a very enriching experience. And learning how to use the different Google, to use different internet drives to be able to find out. The teachers can teach you all those. And it is a beautiful experience for you to learn. So, and it's necessary that these days we learn how to find information, because from that time on, when you reach campus and other areas, you find that learning is more based on you, individual ability to find out more information. And then you go to the next chapter. In that chapter, we shall look at food. Usually, I know most of us are excited around food.
Hello. Once again, we've lost teacher Larry, but in the chat room, there is someone I think I should respond to. How will be receiving the link, sir? Those that shall have registered with us, I think in where we have a WhatsApp group, and it is on that group where we shall be forwarding the links before the lesson starts. So I hope I've answered. That was Derek asking how we shall be getting the link. Please, the moment you register with us, you're going to automatically be put into our WhatsApp group. So you'll be receiving the link for the next lesson earlier, probably even the day before. So you don't have to worry about when the link shall get to you. Simply register with us, let us get your contacts, and you shall have the links before the lessons. As wait for teacher Larry.
I also have another announcement. Yes, teacher Drusilla. I have an announcement.
Please, sure, go ahead.
Now, we want to create learners who are able to write. We want to develop a talent. We want to develop talents for those who would want to be writers. So what we are going to do, this weekend's assignment is going to be about their experience during the COVID-19 lockdown or pandemic. So I think Teacher Larry can go ahead. Then I'll give this assignment at the end of the lesson.
Okay, sorry about that. I keep apologizing because my network is not stable. I don't know, before I continue, it is not right for me to just keep teaching. Are we together? Are you understanding? Is someone lost? Does someone need a verification anywhere? At least if you're understanding, you can let me know at least that we are at par. Are we at par? Hello, students, are we at par? You may communicate so that I get to know. Okay, I've seen a sign there. I've seen a chinkum saying we are at par. That is all right. Okay, 2 of them. That gives me some energy to continue with the same. Okay, so under food, there is a lot. We shall discover, we shall chip in a bit of literature there. We shall add more oral literature. It will be able to come in, and then, you know, we continue with the different things. Now, what do we do during those special times? I'll look at it during assessment. How do learners learn? How are they able to make their own notes? How do they get engaged? I'll look at that under assessment. Then we look at the market. Mark you under all these chapters, the aspects of language remain there. All the key skills under language remain there. The ones of writing, listening, speaking, all those skills never leave. We shall find that at every chapter there is an activity, and that activity enables you to do something much, much more. I want to know what is under the market. Peter Odoch, that's where I'm going now. Under the market, we will teach you different. First of all, we want to know where you come from. Do you have a market near your place? What kind of market? Is it a supermarket? Is it an open market? What kind do you have? What are the arrangements there? Then we teach you the language. We want to hear your experience at the market. Then we teach you the proper language in the market. What language do you think you need to survive in the market? For example, if I'm to ask you here, if you're to buy anything in the market, you want to say something? I see your hand is up in the chat. Maybe you could tell me your name so that I rename you. A person called Itel. There is Itel A35 and Itel 36P. If you have any question, you can, okay. Yes. Yes, Itel, you can unmute.
Yes, I have no question.
I beg your pardon?
I have no question.
Oh, okay, fine. I saw your hand up then. Good. Back to business. So under all this, we look at the market. We want to teach you the proper language that is used in the market. Why do we emphasize that we use this proper language? Remember, language, English is the medium of communication. So we want to be able to communicate properly, even under the food and finding information. We want to make sure that we use correct language. In the market, we must use language, just a minute. In the market, we must use language that buys the attention of the customers. So we shall teach you the language as a customer, and then we shall also teach you the language as a seller. We shall be able to teach you that kind of difference. When you're going to buy, how do you bargain? And then how do you strike a balance with the other person? So we shall use a lot of that to be able to come down. Later on, we shall look at children at work. We want to see at home, what is the difference between child labor and child work? When do you think at home, maybe at this point, they have given me a lot of work and this is now child labor? Have you ever noticed the difference? Or at home for you, it is okay. Amara Masi Claire, what kind of work do you do at home? And Babire Marion, Alina Feiza, what kind of work do you do at home? Can someone share with me? Abigail? Anyone there? You could share with me what kind of work you do at home, because we want to know what our children do at home. Is it manual? Is it, yes?
We usually do house chores like mopping the house and washing utensils.
You do what? House chores like mopping. Now that is normal. Now there is an age bracket that should mop. Imagine I came to your home and I found a child of 3 years mopping. And then you, who is 15, you are busy, maybe you are seated watching TV, you know? So we want to be able to create awareness among our learners that there is a point where the homework becomes a little bit much more. So we want to teach you the differences. And then later on, we shall be teaching you also in the middle here how to write different aspects of functional writing, which is writing letters, a letter of complaint, summary writing. We shall be embedding all those things here. Those are things that we use in our day-to-day life. A letter of application, a letter of request, you need those letters, a letter of complaint. So appreciation, we shall teach you all those letters in these different aspects. Okay, and then the other chapter, chapter 6, we want to teach you about your environment and pollution. I know in SST, I don't know if SST teaches you about environment. We also want to give you our knowledge about the environment, especially when it comes to pollution. We shall look at the different types of pollution, different kinds of environment, and then we'll be able to see how can we save our environment. That is the main objective under that chapter. You know, what is your contribution towards saving the environment, but also how have you contributed to damaging the environment? We need to create that awareness so that the learners know and they can be able to reduce on the negative effects of pollution, because we also want to look at what does it mean when pollution occurs? What are the effects, in short, of polluting the water, the land, and the air? We shall all look at that and be able to come up with something that is substantial. Of course, I'm just giving you a brief, but in depth, it is much bigger and much more beautiful when you're in class. Then urban and rural life. We want to teach you about urban and rural life. If I'm to ask you before even you learn this chapter, where do you think you want to belong? Any student here wants to tell me, Abigail, Marion, between the village and town, where do you want?
Town.
You want to be in town?
Yes.
Okay, that is okay. Let me ask Joel. Joel, where do you want to be? Where would you prefer?
I'd prefer to be in the village.
Find that Joel, you're going to be my friend. Because under that chapter, we shall see why the village and town, we shall see the contrast, the differences, and the advantages, and then we shall choose for ourselves. And then I tell, where would you prefer?
I prefer being in a village.
You prefer being in the village. Okay, I think I would also prefer any of those, depending on the conclusion we would have reached at that point. Are we together? So that's what we shall be teaching you. Of course, both are necessary. We need them. We cannot avoid them because development is coming at a very rampant speed. We have so many towns now. We have about, is it 5 or 6? So, and then many more are proposing to become. So we will learn about them and how to conserve both the rural and urban setting. English has ceased to be the usual verbs, adjectives. There is much more because we are looking at integrating English in our life. And everything we are looking at here is our life. And we shall teach you about travel. What is to travel? Let me ask a simple question. What is to travel? Aaron? Aaron, what is to travel? Yes. Any other person? What is to travel?
Traveling is moving from one place to another for like tourism. For like tourism or
yes. What are the possible means of transport?
Road transport, water, and the air transport.
Are those means?
No, using the car, ferry.
Yes. Good. Now we shall teach you all those. We shall teach you about that. But then much more. We want to teach you how to book, for example, a plane ticket, a bus ticket, you know, how to read. For example, when you're at the airport, to be able to read the different signposts when you're traveling. So it is much more enriching than just learning about transportation, but deeper under transportation, we want to look at the different means of transport, the types of transport, how to book things, how do you ask for directions when you're lost, how do you ask someone to direct you to such a place. We shall look at all that under travel. Then lastly, chapter 9, we shall look at your experiences that you're in secondary now. You know, what is the difference? Because you need a long time to be able to amass an experience. So at that point, we will believe that after about 9 months at school, collectively, those months would have given you a deeper understanding of what secondary means. So you'll be compiling this slowly by slowly. We shall look at that. Want to know what do you think of secondary? Do you think you want to go back to primary after senior one? That chapter will give us more knowledge about your experience. So this is more of you learning and telling me what you have learned in a long run. So beautifully, those are the 9 chapters. And you'll find that almost every term you'll handle 3 chapters. They are very extensive. They are not very cheap. The student has his own book, the teacher has his own book, but we shall collaboratively use these books to be able to guide one another, you know? So that's what we shall be experiencing while there. Okay, so assessment. We shall have at every end of the chapter, we shall have what we call activity of integration. That activity focuses on examining if you've got the skills, the knowledge, and the moral aspects. This curriculum does not look at just letting you have the knowledge. Most times you realize in primary, all the questions are, what is? Such questions are based on knowledge. They only want to find out if you've crammed and learned. Now here we want to find out, do you know what a letter is? Do you have the skill to write a letter? Do you know a bicycle? Can you ride a bicycle? Do you know music? Can you ride? Can you sing? But apart from knowing and having the skill, do you have the moral aspect? Are you disciplined? It takes me to the very first skills. If you saw those very first things that I looked at, let me share with you very fast here. Leave alone those ones. These ones here, the moral values. After having all those skills, do you have the moral values? So that's what we shall be examining through what we call the activity of integration. I'm very sure so many teachers have helped you to learn that. But in our day-to-day lessons, a student will be asked to do very many exercises, most times to come up with their own notes. Even that is a form of assessment. So you'll be assessed throughout the year, throughout your time until you sit senior one. You shall use what we call continuous assessment. Of course, you have these small exercises, but at the end of every chapter, you will do what we call an activity of integration. What you used to know as end of term might not apply here, but we shall use what we call at the end of the term, we shall combine the activities of integration, and those will be called your end of term results. Just like I'm very sure the first speaker gave you a hint on what they are. So that is what we have here. At this point, I want to believe that you have picked a lot about this subject. And if you have any question, you can ask me or the next person who is going to speak to you. I'm very sure Mr. Dumba has something to say. Mr. Dumba?
Yes, please. I
Yes,
don't know
if you have
whether
something
teacher Shadosira has anything to say, but can we welcome questions from our learners, please?
Okay. Learners, any questions are welcome. Concerning the subject or concerning the organization, any of those questions are welcome. We shall be here to attend to them. Can I assume we have all understood?
I think there are no questions. Oh, we have Elisha. Elisha, please.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes. You're excused.
When is the next lesson?
The next lesson is tomorrow. The next lesson is tomorrow at 10 a.m. using the same link.
Okay.
Please.
Mr. Dumba, I have something to say.
Yes, please.
I have sent something in the chat room. Adinafe is wondering, how will I know that he has sent the money? I don't know if it's I think it's a gentleman with his money. Alinafe, we have been saying that you are going to send the money on the number Mr. Dumba has been reading. Mr. Dumba, kindly re-echo it to him. Then that will be done on Monday. You have to pay such that by Monday, you can be able to access the lessons after you have done the payments. And then Isaac is saying, how will you know that it is me who has sent the money? Okay.
Okay, teacher Drosira.
Your name?
Yes, please.
Teacher Drosira.
Yes, Mr. Dumba.
Sorry, let me answer this well. Let me share a screen here. Let me share my screen. We are paying money. We are paying money to this number 020907-137 in the names of Dumba Stephen. After paying, call immediately. So that's what I hope the screen is clear, Teacher Drosira.
The screen is clear, but people are still wondering
Yes.
whether Some of whether we have a Google Classroom platform? Yes, we do. How much is being paid? 50,000 for a month. We have to keep re-echoing these things because it seems the learners are not yet aware. The payment is for
50,000. Yeah. Teacher Lucilla, can you read that for them? I just want to make sure to see that they can all see what we are writing here.
okay. So we are making payments on the number 0200 907 137. It is in the name of Mr. Dumba, and then he's saying the moment you pay, for someone was asking how will we know if they have paid? The moment you pay, simply give him a call, and we are paying 50,000, and that will take us up to the end of the year for the remaining lessons.
Okay, what other questions do we have to answer?
We have people whose hands are up.
Will you please?
Let me engage them. Yes.
As I answer on the screen.
Muganga, what are you trying to say? Muganga, I see your hand up. Muganga, you have something to say? Please unmute.
Shall we pay another money after paying 50,000, or we shall pay 50,000 up to when we go back to school?
Mr. Dumba is going to answer that. Thank you, Muganga.
Yes, you pay 50,000 until next year. Next year is a different program. This 50,000 works up to the end of this year. Muganga, did you get me? Muganga Emon.
Then we have Ben. Ben, please unmute your mic and ask your question.
Excuse me, teacher. Like after making the group, like will we be receiving work from the group?
Yes, you will. We even have a Google Classroom.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Elisha, your hand is up as well. Elisha, please unmute and say something. Angela? Elisha doesn't seem to be with us. Angela, kindly unmute yourself. Well, Mr. Dumba, it seems that is all. The others are not saying anything. Angela, your hand is up. Where is the link to the Google Classroom?
Yes, teacher.
The link to the Google Classroom will be given only to those who have paid, which will be next week.
Angela,
teacher.
Your concern? Yes, please.
Teacher, do we have a WhatsApp group?
Yes, we do. We have a
Yes, we do have WhatsApp group. The number 0200 907 137. Use that number to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a message. Please send us a message or a hi on that number, and we shall add you to the WhatsApp group.
Elijah, I think we've answered that one in the chat room. He's wondering whether we have a group platform right now. Yes, we do. On that same number Mr. Dumba has given to us. Basically, I think the concerns are done. Thank you very much once again for coming through. How do we access? Mr. Dumba, is still on? Tender Joy is wondering how are they going to access the ICT and French lessons?
The ICT lessons and French lessons will be communicated to those who have paid. Any learner at senior1.org is entitled to French and ICT as a must. And at the end of this course, which will be next year, they will get a certificate. But this is only for paid up learners, those who have paid to join senior1.org. It's not that everyone can attend. People are paying to attend these lessons. Then after paying to attend these lessons, there's other things of ICT and French will be attended too. We have Kathy. Kathy has a hand up. Yes, Kathy. Kathy, will you please unmute? Yes, Kathy, I can't hear you. Meanwhile, I don't know whether we answered Angela. Angela, did we answer your question? Okay, as we wait for them to communicate or to ask their questions, I want to give this back to to tell the learners something once again. The kind of exams or the kind of assessment in this new curriculum has changed. I want to emphasize this. You are not going to have end of term exams. At the end of every chapter, you are going to have an assessment, and these marks contribute to your final mark in S4. So every chapter that you study, please give your all and get maximum marks. And the maximum marks for every chapter, I think, is 3, isn't it, Drusilla? Drusilla, are you there?
I'm on. Yes, the maximum mark is
the
3.
maximum mark is 3 and the minimum mark is 0. So you either get a 0, a 1, a 2, or a 3 at the end of every chapter. So if you have 9 chapters in S1, you'll have 3 marks for chapter 1, 3 maximum marks for chapter 2, 3 maximum marks for chapter 3, and so on up to chapter 9. And then those marks are recorded and sent to your name. So these marks will be added onto your final marks at S4. So everything you do from day 1, please make sure you get maximum marks. And so I wanted to make some brief communication again. Our website is www.senior1.org. And then for those who have talents, please practice any of your talents and send us a WhatsApp on 0200 907 137, and we shall share it on our YouTube channel. Now, the assignment for this weekend is you are going to write an essay about your experience during
It seems we've lost Mr. Dumba.
No, I'm on. Okay. I'm on. The thing is, we have an assignment. We have an assignment for this weekend for each of the learners here. So what we want, what we are. Let me first erase this. So I want to give the assignment. Each of the learners is going to write an essay about your experience during the COVID-19. Write your experience write an essay about your experience during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then you are going to send this essay to our WhatsApp number, which is 0200. Let me put the instruction here. Send your essay to 0200 907 137, and we are going to post this essay on our website with your name and your picture. Teacher Drusilla, do you have any other communication?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dumba. Mine is a special thank you to all those that have been with us in today's lesson. When we started Tendo Joy, we really wanted to know how she expected us to know, to teach her how she's going to handle the new curriculum. And I assure you, Tendo, you've come to the right platform. We shall take you through. Today, Mr. Dumba has given you a hint on what is expected. Don't take anything for granted as learning is going on. Every activity you do, we shall be expected to earn marks from it. So the moment you go back to school, do that. Maybe another one that I should urge you to do is when you're signing in, please rename yourself so that we don't call you iPhone, iTel. Rename yourself. When you're filling in the meeting ID, I think just below there is you're supposed to put your name so that we address you the proper way. Otherwise, we're in next generation classroom. Tell a friend to inform a friend to tell another friend. We meet tomorrow again, same time. We are having a chemistry lesson tomorrow. That is all I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I think bye.